Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodriuge, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Hello everyone, Spaced Oyster here, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Ashen Blue Lion Wolves. In the last part, we did the reprise, I guess that's the right word, of the Battle of the Eagle and Lion, where everyone met up on that field, Gronder Field again, and we did the Blue Lions versus the Golden Deer versus the Beagles again, and it was a lot more bloody and brutal, and a lot of people died. Good times.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodriuge's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Are there no lords we can rely on? Or is there no way to secure more soldiers?
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the Monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people, those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No, something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
None. Count me in.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Woo! Now we're changing the goalposts again! Well, yeah, I guess that really does count as changing the goalposts. Dimitri. We're gonna have to put that off for now, Mr. Dimitri. But yeah, from this point forward, Dimitri will be able to participate in, things like supports and, instructions and all that fun stuff. So, yay, he can start functioning like the normal unit he's supposed to be. Ugh. I really screwed him over. Yeah, after having finished my maddening playthrough of Golden Deer, I realized just how much the Blue Lions get screwed over. Because they've easily got the most difficult version of that Chapter 13 map, especially for maddening. Yay, I got things! I have no idea what to plant to get good stuff. I'm sure there's a guide online somewhere, but I'm too lazy to look it up. Let's just put a bunch in there, I don't really care. But yeah, since Dimitri has the toughest version of that, or the Blue Lions have the toughest version of that map, because on the other two routes, Golden Deer and Beagles, when you do that map, you have a flyer with you, guaranteed. But for the Blue Lions, if Byleth can't fly, that makes things pretty difficult, so you have to find an alternate way through it. But yeah, maddening is pretty fun. I'm currently trying another playthrough on it, and any future playthroughs I do, if they're not gimmick runs, they'll be on maddening, because I thoroughly enjoy the higher difficulty, and it's tough to go back down once you've gotten used to it.
Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see, but I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see.
You could detect enemy movements in advance.
I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kind of useful, at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
I just noticed, Cyril, in his portrait, Cyril has a scar above his right eye. Well, I guess it'd be left in certain portraits, but the point is, he didn't have that scar before. I wonder if he got it during the time skip.
Anyway, I was born and raised in Fargus, but I've never actually been to Ferdiad. Do you think it'll still be cold at this time of year? I can't even imagine.
We should prepare for the cold. Or we
Good
could ask
point.
someone.
I'll check with His Highness.
Yeah, Dimitri's being all friendly and approachable again, so you could double check with him. Yeah, I honestly don't know what the months are like in Fodeland. I know in the United States, March can be pretty chilly, but it's usually when things start heating up. At least I think it is.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
Yeah, I hope so too, but wars might inevitably break out in the future if peace can't be maintained. And it's very likely that peace won't be maintained. I don't know, that's just something that's very difficult to do, apparently, especially for humans. Although that does remind me, one big criticism for Edelgard's character is that she didn't need to start a war to achieve the goals she wants. That wasn't something she had to resort to, but she went right for the war anyway. And yeah, I can.
So we're turning around and heading for the kingdom capital? Ridiculous. Tell him to cease this nonsense. Isn't there a saying in Fodeland? Something about those with power knowing how to use it. If he's not careful, the goddess will send her saints to smite him. Not that I believe that.
I don't know. I mean, we always return here to the monastery after every battle, so...
I agree that we should head for Ferdiad, but let's not forget our search for Lady Rhea. The soldiers from the church are going to set up a base at the Great Bridge of Murden. They'll be able to keep up the search while we head for the kingdom capital. The kingdom capital. It's been way too long since I was there last. Oh, Professor, I didn't mean... it's not that I'm looking forward to it or anything.
You don't have to hide it.
Please don't tease me like that. It's just, when I think of us finally saving everyone in Ferdiad, it makes me a little happy. Okay, maybe a lot happy. The kingdom capital is under the tight control of Cornelia, who was ennobled by the Empire. Judging by what we heard from Lord Rodrigue, it sounds like she's a tyrant. But all of that ends soon. Let's get there quickly.
Yes, let's. Although, with my current maddening playthrough that I'm trying without New Game Plus benefits, I made the mistake of trying it as Boyleth.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ferdiad is a city with a long history that goes back to before Fargus gained its independence. I'd like to visit that place at least once before I die, but I'm afraid I have my own work to attend to. It's hard being so dedicated. Ah well, I'll go there for some leisurely sightseeing once Fodlan knows peace.
Yeah, Boyleth is just at a huge disadvantage compared to Girleth. In addition to oh wait, Anna has a quest. And I put her in her.
A class reunion on the battlefield? That's bleak. That must have been so hard on everyone. You gotta keep looking after them all. I mean, they still look to you for guidance, you know?
Oh, do they now? But, what was I talking about? Oh, right, yeah. Girleth has massive advantages over Boyleth. The first and foremost of those being, Girleth can go into a flying class for an intermediate one. Girls get Pegasus Knight as an intermediate class. Boys have to wait till level 20 and the advanced classes start flying. So that's one thing she's got going for her.
I don't feel like I can just forget all the awful stuff he's done. But if His Highness is owning up to his past and trying to move forward, I figure I can give him that chance. We've been friends since we were kids. I'm gonna be there for him all the way to the end.
Man, the other advantage is Sylvain. You definitely want to recruit him before Chapter 5.
I really caused trouble for you, didn't I? I am so sorry, truly. I am also eternally grateful to you. Now, it's time to go to the kingdom capital. I hope that you will lend me your strength once again.
Well, I should say Chapter 5 or sooner.
How is this? Everyone is saying His Highness is back to his old self, but I do not think that is accurate. What he was until recently is what he had been for as long as I've known him. So tortured by his compassion for the fallen that it had driven him mad. He has always been too kind to be king. He has always felt too much for the weak and the dead. That is exactly why I look up to him.
Yeah, no one would know Dimitri better than you do. That makes me wonder, who's the top and who's the bottom? Well, anyway, but being able to recruit Sylvain before
We buried Lord Rodrigue's body ourselves. There wasn't time to do things properly. It pains me that I was unable to take him home to his territory. Once this war is over, I'd like to hold a proper funeral for him. For now, we need to focus on taking back Ferdiad. All will be well eventually. I know we can win.
And win we shall! But, since you can get the Lance of Ruin early, but it has to be in Chapter 5. Otherwise, you have to wait till you do Sylvain's Paralogue to get it. So, since Girleth gets to ignore his recruitment requirements, she has it a lot easier to grab him. Plus, Sylvain's very early to have early on.
It seems we are headed for the kingdom capital this month. The Church of Seros stands ready to lend its aid to you and Dimitri. It may be a roundabout route, but I believe this path will still eventually take us to Rhea. Besides, saving the people of Fargus is just what she would want us to do.
Rhea's so irrelevant to the Azure Moon route that I keep forgetting she even exists. But yeah, seriously, they all talk about Rhea all the time, but Rhea's not going to show up. I know that's a bit of a spoiler, but I don't really care.
Fighting with 3 different groups in the mix was as confusing as it was difficult to survive. Enemies and allies dying, one on top of the other. What an absolute mess, huh? If only I had my infirmary out in Gronder. Maybe I could have saved a few more lives.
I'm sure you did what you could, Manuela. Also, was it just me, or was the background clipping through her boobs there? I think it was. But, yeah, so Girleth has that advantage. And then the final advantage that Girleth has is she has a plethora of better,
Thank you very much.
she has a plethora of better romance
I am
options.
very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. This is all thanks to you and Lord Rodriuge. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It is a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward.
I will do just
I
that.
have a request.
Oh, and he has another one. Yay? Alright, well, let's see here. Wait, why am I giving him a gift? What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see. Why is Felix in the dormitory? Whatever. But yeah, since she has a plethora of hot studs to hook up with, she's got a huge advantage over Boyleth, who is limited to just 3. And honestly, I wouldn't say any of them are really that hot. So, Girleth wins.
He'll need to excel as a leader if he's to make up for my old man's death. Though if my father could see Dimitri now, he'd be glad to have made the sacrifice. Don't you dare tell anyone I said that.
My lips are sealed. Felix is a funny guy. He always goes on and on and on about being a good sword fighter.
Can you believe it, Professor? Dimitri actually apologized to me. Remember that awful business between him and my Uncle Randolph? He just came by and said he was sorry for all that. That was behind us as far as I was concerned. But even so, it seems like he's changed for the better.
Well, that's good. Yeah, good. I don't know why he would apologize to Caspar, but whatever. Whatever makes you happy. Right. Felix being a weird character. He always talks about being good with a sword, even when you aren't training him with swords. It's one of the downsides for, the characters being so variable. Ooh, St. McKeel Day. Anyway, they don't really fit to their stereotypes that they would otherwise would if this was a more
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to
focused
report.
game.
I hear there was a huge battle recently. Glad to see you made it back safe and sound. Maybe there's life after death, or maybe that's just a bunch of pretty words. Either way, we should live like our time here is all we've got.
Oh yeah, don't you start with me, Abyss Keeper. You disappointed me.
Got a wager for you. My friend says there's twice as many women in Abyss as men. You think he's right? Good eye. You win. Here, have a little something.
Okay then. That was just a complete guess. I had no idea. Yeah, but it's good you get resources for that.
Professor, it's a shame that our path is taking us far from the Imperial capital, but I don't feel too badly about it. It takes us closer to the Ferdiad School of Sorcery, where I explored many branches of study. This way, I can repay my debt to the teachers who gave me such invaluable guidance.
Well, that's good, Constance.
I've been close with one of the kingdom's soldiers I met in town. He talked about how he hated the war. We just gotten engaged. I thought he'd stay. He didn't want to invade the Empire, but he left for the front anyway. He never came back.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he's fine.
I hear there was a pretty spectacular battle up there recently, but we don't hear a lot about that stuff. There was a lot of talk when it first started, but 5 years on, it's just a fact of life. What? There have been lots of battles on the surface recently? I hadn't heard. See what I mean?
That's what happens when you live under a rock. Almost literally in this case. Although, I don't know if this really counts as a rock.
If we're going to the kingdom capital, that means I'll run into the lady who, well, you know.
Your old archenemy.
That's a bit much. I'm not nearly pompous enough to call anyone my archenemy. We'll just have to see what happens when I meet her face to face.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure you'll do fine, Happy. Although, like you said, I think she said the name of the lady who kidnapped her and experimented on her and makes her summon monsters when she sighs. I think she said that lady's name was Cornelia, but I'm sure it's a complete coincidence. I bet that's a really common name.
We've come so far. I hate that we're headed to the kingdom capital now. But it's not like we have much choice. We don't have the numbers to face the Empire head on. So we've just gotta shut it and deal.
Alright, we will do that. But yeah, it's not a big deal that we're going to Ferdiad instead of the Empire because we're in the middle of all three.
Get this, pal. I swung by the training ground and ran into that Dimitri guy. Haven't seen him in ages. He seems less rabid, but he's still too damn serious. It's depressing. I challenged him to a brawl, hoping for a quick knockout. Didn't work out that way. We went at it for quite a while. He's a tough one.
You should have invited me.
True. The two of us could have taken him down, no problem. Between you and me, the man is stunning in battle. Nearly on par with myself. Bet the ladies can't get enough.
Oh my. Anyway, I'll call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.